How's it going, everyone? It is Cloud Chief, and today I am bringing you a how-to Destiny video. In today's video, I am showing you how to solo the final boss of Crota's End, Crota himself. Now, there are a lot of mechanics to this, and I'm going to give you as much information as possible to give you the best possible chance for success. So, let's jump into it. When you are ready to start the fight, if you have the checkpoint, basically you would just come up here and touch the crystal. If you happen to be doing this with multiple people, everyone needs to touch the crystal to start. Once you touch the crystal, you will be locked in this room for about 20 seconds. You will not, through the entire fight, be able to go in and out of this. You'll only be able to go in and out through these doors. While the doors are closed, a bunch of acolytes will fill into the room, along with 2 sword knights on each side. Then the doors will open. When the doors finally open is when the timer starts. You have exactly 10 minutes until Crota rages. When Crota rages, he will summon his Oversoul, and even if you somehow manage to kill his Oversoul, he's just going to keep summoning Oversouls until you die. So you have just slightly over 10 minutes to beat him. The first couple times I did beat Crota, I did actually beat him post-enrage, but it was pretty much, you know, immediately after. He had summoned his Oversoul, and I ended up killing him before the Oversoul finished going off to kill me. So you have just a little over 10 minutes to beat him. If not, he's going to go ahead and wipe you. So when you start this, you want to go ahead and kill all of the acolytes and knights. Make sure you have your back to the crystal, so that way the acolytes on the other side cannot be shooting you, so that way you're not taking damage, because there is a debuff called Presence of Crota, and as long as you have this debuff up, you will not get health regen. The only way to negate that is it's the Chalice of Light, and I will explain that in a minute. So you want to go ahead and kill all the acolytes and knights on one side, and then you want to kill them on the other side. You want to make sure you kill both sides, because if not, they will come out and be a nuisance while you're trying to do the fight and fight Crota. So after you take out both sides, you want to head out here. Now, to note, there will be, the only thing that will be out here before you come outside will be Crota, who will be standing over there, and then the sword bearer, who should be standing right there, and the chalice will be right there. So what you want to end up doing is you want to end up coming out here. As soon as you come out here, 2 Boomer Knights will spawn, Thralls will start to spawn, and that also starts Crota's timer. What I mean by Crota's timer is every minute on the dot, Crota will move. He starts on the center, and then after 1 minute, he comes over to this side here. Then after a minute, he goes back to the middle, and then after another minute, he goes to the left, and then after another minute, he goes back to the middle, and then repeat, and then he'll go to the right again, back middle, left. And it's every minute on the dot. Even if you happen, if he say he's at like 58 seconds and he's getting ready to move in 2 seconds, and you take his shield down, even when his shield comes back up, he's going to immediately run to whatever side is his next side, and it's not going to slow his timer down. So as soon as that next minute hits, even if he only ends up being at his next spot for say 55 seconds, he's going to move back. It's every minute he moves. So as soon as you come out here, like I said, it'll start his timer. These blocks will not be in the way, so you want to run up. You kind of want to strafe a little bit, because Crota will shoot energy blasts at you, just like wizards do. So you run out here, you want to jump down, and then you want to grab the chalice. After you grab the chalice, you want to start shooting the sword bearer and kind of backing off, so any thralls or other enemies down here aren't really coming after you. And just back up and then try and take the sword bearer out. Once you take the sword bearer out, you want to then obviously run up and grab the sword, and then move in position to go take Crota's shield down, and then go hit him with the sword. The best spot that I've seen is to, when he's in the center, is to run up right here, and then you can shoot him with whatever you're going to do to take his shield down. Grab the sword, and then you can jump up here, do damage to him. If you have time, you can jump back and then do it again. It is possible to get hit Crota multiple times with one sword. And to note, best damage that I've seen to do with Crota is to do the ground slam with the sword. With the ground slam, it takes 11 slams to kill him. You can, if you time it right, you can get a maximum of 3 hits per each time it goes down to his knee. So if you happen to do well and get it in with the sword, you can hit him 6 times. That way it is possible to take him down with just 2 sword bearers. Also, since he's 11 hits, if you end up being slow and you only end up getting 2 hits on him, that is quite alright. As long as you can get 2 solid good 3 hits in on him, the other one should be easy, because then you only need to hit him 2 times, and then obviously the last time you don't need to worry about trying to run away, you just want to finish him off. So taking down his shield, you need some kind of way to effectively take down his shield that will be doing damage without you continuing to shoot him. So you need some kind of dot damage. What is it? Gunslinger and Sunsinger both have ways to do this, which can help, and where Titan does not. The Thorn can help with that. Any rocket launcher with cluster bombs is good and can help with that. And obviously the Gjallarhorn is good because that's going to have tracking clusters that's going to do damage afterwards. I have taken his shield down with just a machine gun and then gone hitting him. But by doing that, like I said, you don't get a lot of time, and I've only been able to get about 2 sword attacks in on him before he recovers. So it would be possible to do that if you're really fast, but that's going to make it extremely difficult. Not to mention, taking his shield down with a minigun takes a lot of time, and that's going to be eating up your sword damage. Or your sword time, I mean. Okay, so now how the rest of the mechanics work. When you kill the sword bear, the sword will sit there on the ground. The sword can only be out for a maximum of 45 seconds. So once the sword bearer dies, the sword will despawn in 45 seconds, or after 30 seconds of use. As soon as you pick up the sword will only then be there for 30 seconds. Therefore, you have a 15-second window to try and grab the sword before you start losing sword time. Also, after you do this a few times, you'll notice the music changes when you pick up the sword. As long as you're not losing time and you're picking up within 15 seconds, that music is a good indicator to know how much time you have left. So you don't need to try and have an internal clock. You can listen to the music as long as you, like I said, pick it up within 15 seconds. Sword bearers. After a sword despawns, 30 seconds later, a sword bearer will pop or ogres will pop. To note, sword bearers and ogres share spawn. You will never have ogres up or a sword bearer up. It's always going to be one or the other. Either after the sword disappears or after the ogres die, 30 seconds later, another one will pop. You can only get a maximum of 2 sword bearers, and then you're going to get an ogre. Also, at the 3-minute, like when the door drops, your time starts. At the 3-minute interval, 6-minute interval, and 9-minute interval, ogres will pop at the next possible spawn. So if you end up taking too long to kill a sword bearer and get the sword, you're only going to get 1 sword bearer, and then ogres are popped. So you do need to be somewhat fast, but you honestly don't need to rush. I've taken my time and not had a problem and gotten 2 sword bearers. But if you happen to not kill the sword bearer for the first time until you're about 2 minutes and 15 seconds into the fight, you pick up the sword and you say you're 2 minutes 20 seconds into the fight. The sword's obviously then going to wear off at 2 minutes and 50 seconds, and then at 3 minutes and 20 seconds, the next possible spawn will happen. You're over 3 minutes, you're going to get ogres, so you wouldn't get the second sword bearer. So that's how ogres work. And like I said, that happens at the 3, 6, and 9 minute intervals. So you do want to be somewhat quick about that. Other than that, the best thing to do is, if you're not sure what weapons you can use to try and take down Crota, I would just recommend clearing the clearing the 2 rooms so you don't have to deal with it. Come down, grab the chalice, and then immediately run over on this side and just try and take his shield down. Figure out whatever's going to work to take his shield down with the weapons that you have. I clearly recommend either using the rocket launcher that you get from Crota or a Gjallarhorn, but if you don't have them, obviously you're going to need to try and figure something else out. Another option is to bring a friend in and duo it, and I will talk about that in a minute. But also to note, like I said, because Crota will move to the sides over here, you can take him out on the sides. If you're going to do that, it's best to kind of be up here, but you need to be careful of thralls. So you want to be up here, you can shoot Crota twice and then jump up. But because of that, because when you're over on that one, you already have somewhat of a height elevation, it doesn't take long to jump up to the platform to get to Crota. If you're down here, if you're trying to do it from here or down here, it's really hard and it's going to like eat up your time. And yeah, see, like even the jump, that's why you kind of want to be up here. Also, if you have the sword and then drop it, you don't want to really drop it on the steps, because if you do, the sword is going to slide down the stairs down to the bottom here, therefore, you know, wasting your time. And if you take a shield down and then you got to run down here to get the sword, you're not really going to get any hits in. But because you can hit him twice for one of the times you drop his shield, this is a good time to do that. Just jump up here, hit him twice, and jump down. You can use these platforms here because them thralls aren't going to really mess with you, but the boomer knights will be shooting at you from both sides, making it a nuisance. That's why I kind of more recommend doing it from this side and jumping up and doing it. If Crota is kind of far back, you could jump up here and do it, but you got to be careful because he could just take a few steps forward and hit you with his sword. If you have a friend coming in and help you, just have them take out the two sides and then have them come down here to the center. If you need to bring the chalice for them and then just take it back, whoever's going to be the sword bearer, and they should for the most part chill down here and shouldn't really stick their head out, because you don't really want to be taking the time to pass the chalice back and forth, so they should be trying to take as little damage as possible. Ogres also, you want to make sure you kind of move back and be careful with them, because the ogres can hit hard. But the best thing that I would recommend is, if you don't have, like I said, a Gjallarhorn, or you don't have any way of really doing damage to Crota over time so that way you can get up, have a friend come in, have them have a machine gun that has max ammo capacity. When you take the sword bearer down, they should be able to sit back here and start shooting him. That should give you enough time to get in position and then jump up and hit him, which is definitely a good way to do it. But that is pretty much it for the mechanics of the fight. Like I said, this fight is more about positioning and timing than anything else. So don't feel that you have to be rushed, but you can't really take your time either. It's definitely going to take you a few tries. It's not something you're going to get the first, second, or third try attempting. Depending on your weapons and armor set, I recommend coming in here and just, like I said, grabbing the chalice and figuring out how to drop his shield before you're worrying about managing the sword bearer to then get the sword. You want to figure out how you're going to be able to, you know, do damage to him before you actually try and do damage to him. So that's the best way I can suggest how you solo it. This can be done by any class, but you do need to be 32, because if you're not going to do anywhere near enough damage to finish it off in time. At least I don't feasibly see how you can do enough damage to take him out in time. So that's pretty much how you do the fight. Without further ado, let me show you the gameplay.